y'all doing out there? Another episode of Tsun Talks. Instructor Dan.
Instructor Jim.
And today we got a special guest.
Sensei Rosario.
You take it from your school. Where school you from?
Sanyamabushi Ryu Dojo in New Rochelle, New York.
So, today on Tsun Talks, we're going to discuss, a couple of things. Pretty much like what got you into martial arts.
Well, we discussed that?
Yeah.
Listen, the drive-in movie, Saturdays, 3 o'clock. Everybody watch the karate movies. We got our karate shoes. If not, you with your little fake pro cans, you go out and start kicking each other. Karate movies.
Yeah. For all the millennials, you used to be able to drive in and watch in your car.
But honestly, it's even before that. It used to come on Channel 5. It used to be on TV. Used to be outside, running the house at 3 o'clock. Boom, you watch your little karate movies. It was called the drive-in movie. And we all thought we knew karate. We even made nunchucks out of a chain and 2 sticks. So that's what got me into it. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing it, loving it, and just, wondering, this is great. Can I do this?
How old were you when you first started in the martial arts?
When I first started martial arts, I think my first martial arts class when I was about 19. And it was I took Shotokan karate. And I did that, because it was free at the Y. So I did the Shotokan karate. And then after that, I had a kid, so no more karate for a while. And then I got it and then about 10 years ago, I got back into it again.
Okay.
But then I moved from Shotokan to Jiu-Jitsu, traditional Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
So Sensei Rosario, when someone asks like what is Jiu-Jitsu and why they should train it, what do you usually tell them? How do you explain to them what they'd be learning or how they'd be training?
Well, first thing, when someone asks me about studying Jiu-Jitsu, I ask them exactly what type of Jiu-Jitsu they want to study. Because there's a difference. There's traditional Jiu-Jitsu, which is what I study, and there's BJJ, which is a mixed martial art that people go into. Yeah. So based on what they're into, I will give them an example. This is what I do. Because traditional Jiu-Jitsu is basically the original form of it. Okay. It's the core foundation of where BJJ came from, a lot of other martial arts. Aikido, karate, judo, it all derived from Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, okay.
Because if you look at Jiu-Jitsu, all the throws that they do in judo, that came from Jiu-Jitsu. When you use that karate, which is open hand combat, that came from Jiu-Jitsu because of the atemi, which are the strikes.
Oh, okay.
So when you go into BJJ, what they do is they focus on a lot of the ground controls and everything, defenders from the shoot. So if someone wanted to do that, then I would recommend they go to a mixed martial arts BJJ school.
Okay.
So it depends on what you want to do. And some people don't want to do any of that. They just want to do karate.
Okay, no open hand strike.
Yeah.
So with the traditional Japanese jiu that you do, like explain like the lineages. Is there like different lineages to learn it? Like your lineage is
mine just it's Sanyamabushi Ryu Dojo. Okay, now that one right there, it's a Japanese martial art, and with that martial art right there is I don't want to go too deep into the foundation of it or basic but if you look at Jigoro Kano is one of the guys who originated with the forms of martial arts. Okay. So it goes into bone locking, breaks, wrist turning. You got chokes, you got grappling, you got kicks, you got punches. It actually incorporates everything. Okay. But it's just a form that was created over 200 years ago. So when people look at martial arts traditional now, they say, well, how does that apply to the new world we live in? Because now we got guns. Yeah. Okay? Back then, they may have had a sword or something. So also Jiu-Jitsu, they use swords in a lot of their kata. Okay. And that's when you go into advanced. So people don't think it can translate into real life fighting. But before people had guns, before people had these weapons, what did they do? They fought.
Hand-to-hand combat.
Hand-to-hand combat. So it's a basic hand-to-hand combat. A lot of the new martial arts, they evolve with the time because people have studied this martial arts and they've taken shoots of it and made it better for them. Which a lot of these martial arts are great. I see some of the stuff that's done now against traditional Jiu-Jitsu, I say, I like that. Yeah. That would probably work better. But it's an original traditional art that basically had nothing to go up against. But now everybody took from it and said, how can I make this better?
And make their own thing.
Make this better. So if you're going to respect, you have to respect the art. Because the arts came from this one art right here, traditional Jiu-Jitsu.
So since there are many offshoots like judo and
Aikido
and
like Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all that.
So since there are many shoots of the original, how far can you trace back? Obviously there are a couple of people that said, you know what, let me just keep the original and keep passing on the way it originally was. Can you trace back who your teacher learned from and who his teacher learned from? How far back can you really trace back the jiu-jitsu you've been studying?
Oh wow! Now if I get this wrong, I can't go back to the dojo. So yeah, I really got to think about this now. Well, with my school is Hector Negron. All right, it's a Shinan in the school. He learned from Shinan Antonio Pereira, who was in I think Tremont Avenue in the Bronx, and that was in Senya Maru. So that's where he learned, and that's who my Shinan is in my school.
Okay.
And it's also under Shinan Cologne.
Okay.
That's what I studied under for my black belt test. So it's a whole bunch of other people. If I miss
obviously,
you, it's a lot of people. It's hard to name everyone, but that's the original. That's what originated from my school and where he learned from.
Okay. So Sensei Rosario. So why do you think traditional martial arts is not flourishing today, like it used to in the past and stuff?
Well, if you look at the time we're in right now, martial arts back then, it wasn't really a big thing as it is right now, television-wise. Now you have UFC.
Yeah.
When say in the 80s, late 80s, it had the cage matches that were banned in New York for a long time. So it didn't really get that play on TV.
Yeah.
Now you have UFC, which you can watch. Even Spike has that. Who wants to be the next grade? UFC
Ultimate Fighter.
Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
You have that. So now it gets so much publication. More people know about it. Yeah. And what's getting the light is mixed martial arts. Traditional martial arts has always been here. It's always been there, but no one really knew about it as much. It wasn't that much information. Yeah. But now it's more information about BJJ. And now it's more of a field, BJJ, as far as you can actually make money off BJJ. Yeah. If you're a good mixed martial artist, these guys go in the cage or UFC, they make a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
Just to fight.
Just to fight. So you weren't making money like that in the 80s and the 90s.
Sure.
You did it because you loved it. You went to the dojo because you loved the art. You loved to train.
The passion.
It was a passion. Yeah. So you can still have a passion for it now, but now you can get paid for that passion. So traditional martial arts, some of the people who have the passion for it, they're still doing that. Yeah. And some people started traditional and moved on to BJJ. If you look at a lot of the guys right now who is a mixed martial artists who fight on television, they have a jiu-jitsu background, and then they go into mixed martial arts and go fight in the cage or in the octagon.
Well, that's originally what it always used to be, right? Like this guy was a karate guy and he wanted to test his stuff out, and then and they all just made a rule set and they tried it. And but nowadays it's like, I guess MMA became popular to where they're like, now you can just go not learning anything to an MMA gym and they'll teach you how to pretty much kickbox and grapple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But you'll never have the foundation of like a guy who studied one art before you go, you know what I mean? So a lot of these guys still, like Ronda Rousey, for example, she was big into judo before she ever went to learn the other stuff, right? And Lyoto Machida, same thing. He's like a traditional karate type guy. So all those guys had a good, strong background before they went into, because it's a sport now, right? These guys are literally athletes now, like in a sport. So they gotta learn the rules of the game too, the best way to win in the. Because not everything's allowed in the UFC.
No, it's not. So. Because when you go to traditional martial arts, there is you can't do that.
Yeah, no.
Anything goes because it's a fight. It's not. Can you hit the back of the head? Yeah. Traditional martial arts, when it originated, it was about survival. So there was no rules of, well, if you do this, this person may get seriously injured. No, you actually wanted the person to get seriously injured because it wasn't about that. It was about, if you attack me, then I'm going to hurt you.
Exactly.
So and if you look at most of the people who are doing mixed martial arts and they're fighting the octagon right now, they may have a strength. Like you'll say Ronda Rousey, she was judo. But what she did was, when she got into that, she learned stand-up. She learned, she learned stand-up. So she had to build up. But what's her strength? Her strength was judo.
Right. And she won most of her matches.
And she won
that way.
until she fought a boxer, someone who could really throw hands. Yeah. And so then what they did, they exploited her weakness and took away her strength. Yeah. And that's like anything, but that's a fight. Yeah. I see what your weaknesses are. Boxers do the same thing. Exposure. That's what the jab is about. We all know. You jab to test the person's speed and reaction time, so you know exactly how much damage you can do. So yeah, I mean, I love mixed martial arts. I see a lot of it, and
I think they did a good job with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, pretty much taking combat in the most realistic way possible without killing each other.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because we gotta.
You gotta add the rules,
Yeah, you gotta in the ring. You gotta add the rules. In the street, there are no rules.
Or even if you train in the dojo, right? It's like we're not gonna kill our partners, but you want to try and make it as realistic as possible.
Realistic as
right?
possible.
Yeah.
Especially because when you train in the dojo with traditional jiu-jitsu, you can't go full waza with everything. Because if I do this move on you practicing and it's meant to break your arm, it's going to break your arm.
Yeah.
If it's meant to break your neck, it's going to break your neck. So you focus on the technique and the uki works with you. That's how you learn how to take falls. Because if not, you don't take the fall, you don't turn your body in the right direction, your wrist breaks. If you don't take the fall in the right direction, then I may break your ankle. So, it's give and take.
Yeah, there's always gonna be the guy too, like, yo, well, on the street, you ain't got a mat to fall on. It's like, no shit, man, but like, you gotta train it somehow, right?
Yes.
Same thing with, as Wing Chun practitioners, I'm sure you get this a lot too. They'll be like, yo, when the guy throws the first punch, he ain't gonna stand there and let you practice all those moves. And we're like, those are just like coordination drills, you know what I mean? It's like at the same time, you're saying he ain't gonna stand there, I'm really gonna be punching him, I'm not gonna be stopping before his head, So it's like, obviously it's a simulation. We never said it wasn't a simulation. You gotta train somehow, you gotta learn somehow. You can't just go out there and fight.
You gotta have a starting point.
That's it. All of a sudden your arm's broken, you gotta wait another year before you fight, right? Your leg's broken.
Yes, definitely. Because with training is repetition. With anything,
absolutely, repetition.
Repetition.
Yeah.
But what repetition does is now your body develops muscle memory.
Instinct. Repetition, you can
So
make it instinct.
and people say, well, you're not gonna do that. Yeah, but if I threw a jab 5,000 times,
that's gonna be the way you're gonna react.
that's how you're gonna react.
Yeah.
So now when my body throws a jab, automatically the jab is gonna shoot out. Instead of me throwing it 20 times, and now I'm thinking about the jab.
Yes.
So that's repetition. But you have to keep doing it. So people see you going through the form.
And I think that's the reason why most traditional martial arts don't flourish, because of the repetitions. Like, I know from time to time it does get boring, but this is why we create the drills we create. But to stand there really just over and over, it takes patience, and you gotta have that patience to develop that. To sit there and the times and
that's part of it. It's boring. Yeah, that's the boring part of it. Then there's the fun parts of it.
Yeah.
And no one wants to work out either.
Yeah.
And
you gotta condition too.
But I can tell you one thing. I'm not saying that traditional jiu-jitsu doesn't have that combat aspect, because when you're working with someone who has a skill set that's equal to yours, you can go harder. So now you can show off how the technique works.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get someone who's green and say, okay,
no, of course,
we're gonna work with it, because they're gonna go against it more than the other person. The other person, if I'm working with you and you're a black belt or you're a brown belt and you throw a real punch, you give me a real attack, I can give you a real response to that attack. And that's how you know that it works. So that's the difference. But if somebody new, they come through and then I do the same thing, they don't know the fall's gonna come, so guess what? Now they fight it, their arm goes out, now they get hurt. So it's a lot of videos out there, like even like Sanyamabushi Ryu. If you go on YouTube, you find a lot of the videos. Antonio Pereira in the Bronx, when people did videos, they recorded. Even Sanyamabushi Ryu in New Rochelle, some people have videos. You'll see how when they made those videos, it's real attacks, and it's real responses to those attacks. But understand, this person, they have to make sure you work with me. I'm not trying to hurt you.
Right.
You're actually my friend. We're just training.
Exactly.
I don't want to say this works. Look, he's in the hospital for 6 weeks,
and now he can't train.
No, that's not what it's about.
Another thing too is like for all the people out there who question it, it's like it's a martial art, man. Like it's not like you're never gonna find a martial art that's like no matter what happens, I snap my fingers and I don't get hurt and I win. Yeah. Like obviously we're just trying to become better fighters ourselves and better versions of ourselves. We're gonna get hit too, right? Exactly. Like it doesn't mean the martial art don't work. You know what I mean? The more you practice, hopefully the less you get hit. But there's nothing perfect out there.
Nothing. So.
And like my mother always told me, she said, God bless her. She said, I don't care how bad you are. There's always somebody out there better than you, right?
Oh yeah, it teaches you that. That's the most important lesson learned.
And that's in martial arts. It's about respect. You're humble. That's why when you go to the mat, you bow.
Yes.
You're paying respect to lineage.
Yes.
When you get on the mat, and then when you leave the mat, you bow
again. Yes.
You're off the mat. When you finish, you bow to your teacher. All right, as you line up. That's the respect for the art. That's respect for the lineage.
Yes.
So it teaches you to be humble. You know, because then you see somebody smaller than you who has uses technique against your strength, who can actually whip your ass.
Yeah.
Let's just say. So now you're like, well, you know what? Wow, okay, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
He could do this, but he's not going to do it. It's not about hurting someone. You know, it's about just learning the art, being able to protect yourself or others when needed.
And have control, yeah.
You know, and it's all about being humble. You don't have to put it out there, tell everybody I do this. Stay humble, all right?
Yeah,
you use it when you need it.
I can't disagree with that mentality. What about you?
Right, definitely. All right, guys. So now we're gonna go into technique time. Okay, so Sensei, what are the technique you're gonna show us today?
Well, we're gonna stick with the basics.
Okay.
We're gonna do wrist turning, bone locking, either one of those. So you grab one wrist. So if he grabs this wrist here, which is fine. Now the person is gonna have a grip. I'm not gonna pull. If he pulls and I pull, it's a tug of war. It makes no sense. So he pulls, you let him have it. You come up from there. As you apply pressure, you strike, which is the attempting. You strike. As you strike, you're coming across. Now you're controlling from the elbow. You're not letting go of the arm. Apply pressure down. If the person is really big, just drop your weight. Once you drop your weight, you apply pressure to the elbow, and you're gonna keep taking the person down. So you wanna do Kasensawaza again. So now this guy is bigger. Boom. You come here. You strike. You go straight. You go down. Now let's just say he grabs. I try to do Kasensawaza. I can't. He tenses his arm up. Now I can't go this way. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do Nikyo. Let his arm rest here. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you're just going to apply pressure straight down. So now if the person's too strong, you can't, he tenses up. With the person, no, you're going to do something. Now you can't finish this way. He's going to try to pull his arm back. When he pulls it back, you're just going to control, take the hand, and on the wrist, just bend straight down.
Jeez.
Once you got me in that position, you could have put your weight on me and just kept me there, or you could have just broke my arm.
So that's our show for today. Sensei Rosario, you have anything, pick up your school, where you train at?
That's in all respect to Sanyama Bushi Ryu Dojos, New Rochelle, New York, Hector Negron, the Shinan Dojo, and all the other Shihans and Shihans. Let's give a shout out to them, for teaching me and allowing me to be part of their lineage and their lineage.
Us. Alright, this is episode 5 of Tsun Talk. Make sure you guys subscribe. Lithium-Tiger on YouTube. It's Instructor Dan.
Instructor Jim.
Sensei Rosario.
All bow out.